Welcome to All in Auto. Today is a very exciting day. We've got something I've been waiting for a long time to go on the Buick. Come check it out. I'm Devin. That's John.
Hi.
That's Scott. Today we're gonna be working on the Buick. It also does that now too. All right, there is a multitude of reasons why we're putting fuel injection in this thing right now. The first one, I'll show you right now. You go to try to start a carbureted car up, they always do that. You gotta give it the secret combination of however many pumps versus however much throttle to hold it at. And then if I put it in gear, not cool. Besides startup, being able to change your fuel trims in startup and cold start issues, there's other reasons why we're changing this. We're also changing the distributor out today. The distributor we're putting in is a variable distributor that'll be controlled by our fuel injection system. Now with a distributor like the one we have, it's a vacuum advance, you can change vacuum advance, the amount of advance it has and when it does it, but it's all mechanical. So when we take it to the tuner, he'll only be able to adjust vaguely. It's not as finely tuned as we want it to be. So when we put this distributor in, what it's gonna do is give the tuner and us the ability to, through the rev range, change our timing advance and where it advances. And because we're running high compression with iron heads, we have to be really careful with our advance, because if we advance it too much and the cylinder temps get too hot, we could have pre-ignition, which will destroy the engine we just built. And we can squeeze every little bit of power out of it through the entire rev range, because we can advance our timing and change our fuel trims with a computer instead of a screwdriver. You know what I'm saying?
That.
All right, let's look at some parts. We're gonna start getting parts out of boxes and then handing parts to different guys for them to start installing them in different places. I believe we have in here, oh, there it is.
Oh, it's black.
So that goes to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wanna show them? You wanna showcase it?
So it's gonna be like this. Whoa. You can see, I don't know if you can see in there or not, the injector holes, really hard to see. See all those tiny little holes? So that's where your fuel comes out. That's pretty cool. It's gonna atomize it really well.
Next part, O2 sensor. We need to be able to monitor our AFRs, and this is how we do it. That's gonna be Scott. There's a bung in the bung hole. I need you to extract the bung hole plug and put that in its place.
Got you.
We could air it up, get you some more room. All the way up.
So I'm not a big carburetor guy, but when we called the place to get this thing tuned, he had no interest in tuning a quadrajet. So I don't know what that tells you about quadrajets, but he does not like them.
Yeah, he was very,
He's very negative about them.
he really does not like quadrajets.
He really wanted a Holley carburetor, and you said, what about a Sniper? And he said, I'd rather a Holley carburetor. So I mean, really didn't want the quadrajet, really wanted the, carburetor.
Yeah, he said I'm a
You're
carburetor
right in the middle.
guy.
Yeah.
But
you're not, and it's
I'm
your
not.
car.
Yeah,
So.
so.
Whoa. We have the same idle air control valve. Look, same. Brothers, I'm telling you.
Same temp sensor?
That's sick. Dude, our cars are like brothers, or maybe cousins.
Yeah.
It's going on.
Come on then.
All right.
Oi.
Ready?
Yeah, did you find the hole?
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it takes. All right, we need to have cylinder one, top dead center compression. Cylinder one has two top dead centers. One would be compression, then one would be exhaust. We need to be on the compression side. So the easiest way to do that, pull your cylinder one spark plug, put your finger in the hole, and have your buddy crank it. You know what I mean? Again, again, again. Hear that? That was it. We're gonna be lining that line up with that 0 on that mark over there.
All right. Right. One more. Right there.
A little bit more, is it
Maybe
good?
just that. Right, stop. Yep. Hey, it's torque now too.
Yeah.
I heard the click.
Torqued in reverse.
Reverse torque.
So the instructions say to take this alignment tool and you stick it on here. There's 2 alignment pins there that it locks into, and it locks the rotor button into a very specific position. It tells you to take a Sharpie and make a mark right there, and that's where you need to put your cylinder 1 spark plug wire on the distributor cap. I don't know why they couldn't have just put the mark. They know where the mark goes. Why don't they just put it there? No way. I think this is cinnamon scented gear oil, assembly lube. It says 2 times the zinc.
Well,
Why?
let's see.
Smell it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Is it?
Dude, that smells like Big Red gum.
Isn't that
Yeah, it
crazy?
smells straight like Big Red gum.
I opened it up and I was like, there's no way.
Does it taste like it? Nope.
Yeah, it's straight cinnamon. That's crazy. Is it red too?
Why would they do that? Yeah. Whoa, dude.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Smells like an old lady's house.
Makes me want big red gum.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
into it. Like, that-
Cinnamon candles.
go the
Yeah.
extra mile, you know? But,
I guess.
But for what?
We're talking about it, and if I ever see that for sale, I'm gonna buy it. So, I mean, they did something right. This thing's really handy. So, we're gonna have pressure in to this side, and then our return over here. Pretty neat.
So, I'm pretty sure this one's gonna work.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, the one that said that it was for the Buick 455 was expensive. It was like, it was like double the price of this one, to be honest. And then I started doing some research, and I found that the part number for the fuel pump for this, it was the same part number as the fuel pump for a big block Chevy. And then I looked up for one of these for a big block Chevy, and this was $12.
How much?
You wanna know how much the other one was?
How much?
It had this really lame like Buick thing and a horse and stuff on it. It was like $60. So I bought that one. So I think
I have to make this work.
I think it's gonna just work.
Okay.
From what I found online,
All right.
because they have a similar fuel pump number.
Can't with you, dude.
I thought it should work.
And this block off plate is not as thick as the fuel pump. So on this side it doesn't matter because it just goes through. You can see the threads on the end of the bolt here. This actually goes into the timing cover, so we gotta be super careful that we're not hitting that chain because it lines up right with the chain. So I'm going to drain the break-in oil and I'm gonna clean this jar out. And the first little bit I'm gonna put in this jar so we can take a look at it.
A little analysis.
So Devin can take a look at it. This is his engine.
All right. How are we looking? I mean, what do you think?
Just looks bubbly.
There's a little
I didn't really get a good look at it.
something going on in there. Is that just me?
And what are we gonna do about it all, Wind Fans? That's right, nothing.
I'm not seeing anything. It looks great. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
What I've made here is this is our return line. It goes
those
from
blocks?
here to our regulator, and then we have our pressure gauge, and then it'll be our return. So now the next thing is to get the feed from the pump to the engine and the return from the engine back to the tank. I've cut the stock fuel lines down on the frame rail, cut them real nice with the tubing cutter. Now I'm cleaning them up with some sandpaper, and then I'm gonna take our rubber lines, connect them, and then we should be good.
Nothing behind there is important.
Trying to find you like a neck size up bit. You want to throw that screw on the drill?
No, it's not gonna do anything.
Seriously, the screws are softer than the
Oh,
bar.
wait. Check this out.
Ouch. All right.
Is it going? No.
It's doing the same exact thing, dude. These screws are terrible. Pull it back out. Yeah, it's just not.
Is it
Ain't
gonna
happen.
rain tomorrow? Hey, look at that.
Okay.
Oh, that is secure.
I messed up. I did a really good explanation about what we're gonna do, and then my mic wasn't on. That's cool. So today we are installing the rest of our fuel system. John already set up everything on the front end, which is our supply line to the Holly, our return line to the regulator, and then return line back to the tank. That's all done in the front. Now all we have to do is run a power and ground to this inline fuel pump, which per Holly's instructions needs to be at the rear of the car, really close to the tank. This is a pusher pump, not a puller pump. It likes to push fuel. It doesn't like to pull it from the tank. So I gotta find a place to mount this and get some wires ran to it. That's my job. John is the tucker. He likes to tuck things in places. So he's gonna be tucking the fuel pump wire that comes from the Holly all the way to the back. By the time he gets there, hopefully I have this ready to go. So I think I'm gonna drop the fuel tank. It'd be a lot easier to mount that pump up there, and plus my fuel level sensor's not working for some reason. And there's almost no fuel in here, and it's just 2 volts. So I'm gonna take the bands loose and drop the tank down a little bit and put the pump in while the tank's out of the way, and then put the tank back.
How's it going? What are you doing?
Watch that strap hit you in the face.
Brother.
Like that, yeah. It got me too.
I would have never expected that to be that full of gas.
I'm just a little bit.
Looks nice.
Where we can still move it.
Good fuel hose.
Magic. So this thing's always had an issue with fuel level sensor. I took it apart last time, put it back together, and I thought I had it on really good. And the end of the cable, which was just like a push style, like it just slid over, it just snapped off. So I just redid it, and we should have a fuel gauge, finally. That would make me a very happy boy.
Yeah, that'll be good.
John, what happened?
Well, my car's like the most unwaterproof thing ever right now. So my ECU's just on the floor. Windows down, can't find my cranks. So that's how it is now. Oh, you wanna have a race car? Just don't leave it outside.
All right, so we're back on this side of the shop. We're done with the rack, got the other 2 cars back in. Fuel system is finished from front to back, completely done. All I have left to do now is some very monotonous, not fun to watch wiring. So I'm gonna get this wiring all sorted. If there's any highlights of anything I think you guys should see, if it helps you do a sniper on your own, I will let you know and I'll show you once it's all together. But showing you how to connect some wires and route some wires isn't gonna help anybody. I'll get this thing all wired up, get the screen ready to fire up, and then we're gonna fire this thing up together. All right, it's Friday morning. This video comes out Friday at probably 3 o'clock. So we're down to it right now. But last night we did get this thing to fire off one time.
First start with the sniper kit.
I mean, we're not affiliated with Holly at all, unless you want to be Holly, you know. But this system is pretty insane. We put it on, wired it up the way we had in the instructions, which are right here. Check this out. This is our entire wiring diagram. This is our entire wiring diagram for the system we just put in. It might look a little complicated on here, but I mean, it plugs in, simple. There's like maybe 4 or 5 wires we had to actually wire into the car. So simple. And these instructions are amazing. They made it very easy to do. And no joke, first bump, fired up and idled perfect. So, but let's get this thing fired up, run it for you for a second. We're gonna get some cool shots of down in there, of it eating all of the fuel that it wants. And we'll get a little bit of tuning done, but without the front end on and getting it up to temp, we won't be able to get a lot of it done. But that's the plan for next time. When you guys see this car after this, will be the front end will be on, radiator in, cooling fans, and we'll be taking it for the first drive, which we're planning on getting sushi tomorrow with these cars. This one. And some of that is supposed to be on there too. Let's fire it up.